Adrian, chapter 11 or 12, I forgot, it doesn't matter, they will be sorted out inside. And as a matter of fact, this is not classified in terms of periods. This childhood was followed by adolescence when this happened. Maybe we'll get to that later on, maybe not. It's more after the gratitude note of yesterday for my father. This is in a way a gratitude note with some stings, I guess, included for Adrian, Stephen, or whatever we want to call him. He used to be my best friend, and he and I did a lot of crazy things together around here at the Black Sea coast, Pitești mountains, which, by the way, thinking about it now, would come back in further notes. But for now, there's an evaluation of this relationship which meant so much on one hand, and on the other, the downside was that being so prominent, so paramount, we've done many things together. We went out, we went with the girls, we laughed and so on. We organized some pranks, we went to the nudist beach and did whatever. At one point there was a woman who was having oral sex under a blanket, but still it was enticing and bothering. I mean, what do you do when you see this? And there's not something you can do to quell, to satisfy a desire which is inserted by this person here. So when she came out of the blanket or the wraps, whatever, we all assigned bent over and showed our behinds to her as a thank you for the show. So being together for so long and doing so much together, when he went away to Belgium and then throughout the world and ended up in Argentina, he left a hole. We weren't close in the sense of being homosexual or anything. Back in those days, it was so inconceivable that we made a joke, by the way, when we meant to make them more comfortable and to use probably the same strategy which was deployed in Some Like It Hot by the character of Tony Curtis, who, to get close to Marilyn Monroe, at one point he pretends to be a rich owner of a big boat and to be somehow not interested in women. He went to Freud, to psychoanalysts in Europe, but he's not into women, making a wish to entice him to be even more interested in a guy who's not interested, because there's this old saying, we want what we don't have, what seems inaccessible. Same way when we met a couple of girls, which was 20 times a day or so on average. I'm joking, but it depended. On the Black Sea coast it was even more than that, because we just went from one towel on the beach to the other. Can we talk? Can we talk? And then we could talk 50 times. We didn't score, to use a rude note we made back in those days. But seldom. I mean, it was once in 50 or 100, but that's what was on our mind most of the time. So when we met, one of the lines, the strategies or tactics depending on how we want to call it, was to come with us. Do you know how many uh, gay people are in Constanța, Mamaia, Bucharest, wherever, Predal, wherever we were based at the moment? No, we don't know. Oh, we are so many, and with this we pretended to get close to show that we are. I don't think we acted gay. We didn't know. Gayness was not a thing. It was so such a remote, such an impossible thing. It sounded like we are the man on the moon or something of the kind. We didn't realize that, and we weren't. That's why we joked about it. We weren't really close in that way, platonic relationship. But as I said, when he left, I was left without friends. Perhaps that's also an evaluation, as I said here, because of nature. I am an Aquarius, and I used to be very friendly. I was in a tourist business, travel, hospitality industry, as I call it today. And to be successful, to make money, which I did, the money I made there, I invested, and that's how we have this and that, which is somewhat better than middle class, upper middle class, if we can say that, here. Anyway, after the end of the travel business, uh, it was exhausting. This having to deal with tens of thousands of people over the years. Probably had an impact, and the reverse attitude came into being. Plus, like I remember another film, a comedy with King of Comedy with De Niro, wonderful exception, one of the best comedies ever. And Jerry Lewis, where Jerry Lewis is a comedian, but he makes people laugh and enjoy themselves on stage, on the screen. But in his private life, he's a son of a bitch, a bastard. He's obnoxious to the limit, as a rule. So it can be that, socializing and talking with women, but then deeper down or getting closer, uh, and antisocial. And I don't know. This is part of part of the issue here. Part of the reason why these notes, to try and understand. For lack of an analyst there's a phone hanging on a wire. So anyway, gratitude for him. It was fun while we had it, and there's more in the notes to come, more about how and what we did in various places, Black Sea and all. So long.